this is my first English only spoken talk, so please bear with me if I make any mistakes. Well, the talk is going to be about building your team, build your product, pay technical debt, and repeat. This is a story that it's a little bit about me and my work. Well, who am I, right? Well, my name is Mariano Renteria. I have over 15 years of experience as a web developer, software developer. That's kind of my thing. My current job is engineering director at MedTrainer. We are a SaaS company. You are free to search us on DuckDuckGo or your preferred search engine. I have a podcast. This one's in Spanish called Chile Mole in Tech. You are welcome to hear it if you have some Spanish knowledge or if you want to just practice your Spanish, where we talk about some technical in general terms. It goes from agile, what is a good developer, of to NFTs and things that are current and sounding. And I am also part of the community of PHP Mexico. I am part of the board, and I have been collaborating with them. So if anyone of that community is here, well, I just want to say thank you for coming here. And if you are not from that community, also stay here. Well, you can find me. My handle it's at Mariano Renteria. It's on Twitter, LinkedIn. You can find me both of them. And if you want to see a sneak peek about my personal life, you are welcome to also go and find me on Instagram. Well, we have some agenda for today. The purpose of this talk is to give you share with you some of the knowledge that I have experienced in the last 7 years of my career at MedTrainer specifically. Well, we have built a team, we have built a product, we are paying, and we have paid also technical debt, and how we have been repeating this over and over to keep growing as a company. And there's going to be some questions at the end, so feel free to save them. I'll be answering them in the chat. Okay? Well, first of all, I want to share with you what we have as an engineering team. And this is a picture taken on our last in-person training, in which we brought some people to give us some training, some names you may know, like Jonathan Wage from the Doctrine, Ryan Weaver, and we were doing some training. So this is our engineering team. So kind of like spoiler alert, we are an okay or really good engineering team, to be honest. And that is where we are going to be talking about. Well, how did we begin all of this? How can you build a team right now in 2021 with all the challenges that we have? Well, let's take a look at them. So there are some threats and weaknesses that are affecting us all, all of us in the industry of building software products especially. And it is that finding the right talent is tough. I don't think anyone here can, although we all know that there is this big pool of talent that is worldwide available, even companies like Percona that are 100% remote, they have the option to go for it. But still, finding the talent for your team, for your organization, for your product is not simple. And this is just something that it's just affecting all of us, Also, remote-friendly teams are challenging. I think the pandemic came here to just accelerate the remote work process, but this process has its own challenges. So to be honest, I wouldn't probably recommend it to be like, if you're just building a product and starting from scratch, to go 100% remote. You are going to face some challenges, but definitely, I think we are all trying to move towards that direction. At least we are, and we have found some challenges, and we have been sharing the office for quite some time. But I mean, 1 year after, I think we have we are very decent at this, but this is just something that we all are experienced. Also, the turnover in tech is high. You know, regardless of we do our best to keep up our employees, the turnover is just high. There's just so much competition in the industry. There are new positions open every week. There are people fighting for your best engineers. So the turnover is going to be high. I mean, we try to keep it as low as possible, but it is just the nature of the industry. And finally, your tech stack is your advantage and your disadvantage. And this is something that I just want to bring up because regardless of what tech stack you are using, you could be using PHP like us, you could be using JavaScript, you could be doing React, Node.js, Python, Java, you name it. You can be only doing SQL, no SQL, everything. This is going to be your advantage and your disadvantage because there is just so much people that is trying to specialize themselves, just focus on a technology. So if you're a good PHP product, the people that it's PHP friendly is going to go for you. So that's going to be your advantage. But that's also going to be your disadvantage because you are not the only company or the only team like this in the world. And your engineers are going to be something that is very valuable for other teams. So, whatever tech stack that you decide, this is going to be your advantage and your disadvantage when you are trying to build a team. I'm not talking here about, anything like, is this a better programming language over this? Is this the one that you should use in these situations? No, I'm just talking about like building a team. What are your threats? What are your weaknesses that you need to identify them? And this is something that we have been doing. We have identified our threats, our weaknesses, and we are working towards those. So now let's take a look a little bit about strengths and opportunities, which it is something about flipping the coin for all as well. So we talk about a little bit about how everyone is threatened. Now let's talk about the opportunities that all of us have here. Well, my suggestion will be seek potential. Trying to find the most senior person, the one that really fits on your organization at that exact moment. Is not going to be always an option, but you can find like this person that has almost that, it's close to it, and it has the potential to fill those gaps, within a certain amount of time, which is something that you will decide, right? But seek potential over the specific needs. It's something that is going to help you to flip the coin in your favor. The other one is use your network. I have been using as many job boards tools available. I have been trying to post the positions in English, in Spanish, because we are in Mexico, everything, But at the end of the day, some of the best positions that I have found come through my network. And I'll give you a couple examples. One of our, there was a moment when we have a hire that he came from another city and he said, hey, you know what? Like, I know some people working in that company and I know they are having struggles over there. That company, it's kind of running out of money. I don't know if you will be interested in talking with them. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'll drive to that city. I'll invite everyone some beers. I'll just pitch the opportunity to work with us. I'll meet them in person and let's schedule some interviews. And that turned out to be a great thing, Right now, I'm also in the search of some key positions, and we haven't been able to find them through headhunters, job boards, etc. And just reaching out to my network and the network of our employees is helping us to bring talent that they may not be on the site of job hunting or job boards because they are not like actively looking for a job, or they are kind of thinking about it but not very sure. we are able to reach them through our network. So, everyone keeps repeating that you need to keep doing networking, participate on events like this. This is just one step, but building a network will let you flip the coin and gain some additional talent pool. The other one is aim for diversity. Whenever you are building a team, trying to aim for diversity, it's something that you should always consider. This is a hot topic, and I'm not trying to say like you need to meet a quota or that you should, you should try to, I don't know. I'm not talking about quotas. I'm just trying about you aiming. Are you actually trying? Trying. And this is something that I'm trying to do, and sometimes you will succeed and sometimes you will fail, but it is important that you are at least aiming constantly to achieve diversity in your organization. Diversity of culture, color, race, nationality, there are so many diversities that you can aim for, but if you can keep just aiming into one or two, that will make your team a better team for sure. And then you need to provide continuous growth opportunities. If you are just hiring people, stay on the same place for a long of time. We were talking about how people is being reached out on constant basis, and you are not providing constant growth opportunities, you are certainly and most likely lose the people. So this is kind of, the latest advice that I have about all the opportunities that we have. And whenever we are talking about opportunities, we are not only talking about a promotion, a job promotion, but giving someone the opportunity to run a committee internally, to develop strategies, to attend to conferences, to participate in trainings. These are the type of growth opportunities that people right now is looking for, and that will help you to build a better team, which is the sole purpose that we are trying. You have to have a good team to work with you. Now, there are going to be like some final checkpoint questions that I'm kind of always asking myself whenever I am about to hire someone, which is number one, do I want to work with this person? I'm not even going to say just him and her. I'm just going to say this person. Like, do I want to work with them for the right reasons? Is it just because, there's certain cultural fit only? Or is this person also like someone that I would like to be engaging in discussions that will make me be more productive, or will make the team be more productive, or the experience they are bringing is going to help us, it's going to add value for us? That would be something. And then the second one is this a person that I need kind of right now? During the process where I'm building a team, sometimes I just meet people that I'm like, oh, this is exactly the person I want to work with, but this is not the problem I'm trying to solve today. This feels like it's going to be the problem I'm going to be trying to solve in 1 year, in 6 months, in 2 years. But the problem that I have right now, and that it's hurting me, it's burning me, it's burning my organization, it's burning my team, is not going to be addressed with this hire. So maybe this should be like something to save for later, and sometimes it is going to happen with that specific person, and sometimes it's not going to be. But this is just 2 checkpoint questions that I'll recommend you that you should ask when you are building your team. Now, let's talk about build a product. How do we do that? Well, I can tell you the first thing you should be doing is adapt as fast as possible. Let's just forget about all the nice technical things that you want to do right now or you want to do later. You should be trying to adapt your product as fast as possible. This is crucial in 2020 and in 2021, that you adapt your product as fast as possible. Now, how are you going to achieve that? Well, you have to talk with your customers. I mean, let's forget about personas for a second. I'm not saying like defining personas is not something that is going to help you, but definitely talking straight with your customers, identifying key customers that are willing to give you feedback, it is really important. So just it's not only about observability, it's not about like looking at the logs, looking at the user experience, using all these tools that we have available, but actually talking with the customers and asking like, do you like that? Did it help you? Did it doesn't help you? Is it kind of half in between? What feedback could I get? And then I'm not saying just like the customer is always right. I'm not saying that. But talking, listening will give you feedback that it's important for your team to build your product and to build a product that customers actually need. Now, observe your early customers. When we were building our product, working and observing our early customers was crucial. We were deploying new features, and some of the customers were eager to participate. Some of them were so frustrated they didn't even want to talk to us, but we were able to observe them. So having tools that allow you to observe them, it is really helpful. You should, because we are trying to adapt fast, right? Remember we said that at the beginning of this section, right? So observing your early customers is going to be something that is going to be really helpful for you in order to adapt and in order to take some of the feedback that they are maybe not giving you when you talk to them, how they are using your tool, what are the things that they are clicking, what are the things they are not clicking, how often do they click it, so that you can take some decisions. And the leaner you can keep your product, the better. So observe your customers, specifically or especially your early customers will be my recommendation. Avoid over engineering. It is hard to do this one when you are working with a great technical team, right? And sometimes they have like all this energy in them to build the best with the best in the best way. All this information that it's just floating around about all these design patterns you can use, all these new tools that you can use, and some of them just end up being over engineering. And over engineering, it is not good when it causes you over maintenance, right? Because at the end of the day, you will have to keep giving maintenance, improvements, bug fixing to all of these things that you are building. And if you make it way more complex, you go above and beyond on that, it's going to also give you above and beyond work for it. So avoid over engineering. It's another really important thing. Monitoring is important. We were talking about observability, and I was just talking about your customers. Well, monitoring how your application behaves, your product, it is really important. Sorry. Because especially when you are building a product, you don't know which are your fast transactions, your slow transactions, what are the things that are causing bottlenecks to your users, what are the places where the system is rendering so slow that it's almost unused. And this is, I'm just going to throw here something for Percona, but there's also a part of what are your slow queries, what are the transactions also at database level that you may not be monitoring, and you are not aware that these are giving you a headache. The duplicated indexes was something we had to deal with because we were over engineering, So we're just trying to do as much as we could. So monitoring is important so that you can keep working and improving your product. Now, it is important. Pay technical debt. It is what it is. We all have it. And I even make my meme for it. Which is like identify technical debt, plan for it, build your product. You now have more debt. It is what it is. I mean, I actually even have like another phrase. Like every time you hire a new employee, a new engineer, they come with their fresh eyes, and the first thing they want to do is refactor something or implement something that the team probably has think about before, and they were just like, this is not the time to do that. And when these people, this person comes with all this energy, as a new hire, and you are like, yeah, don't touch that, because we know it sucks, but it's been there. And that is some of the technical debt that you may have, and you will have to identify it first. And when you identify, you also need to be giving that feedback to your employees or to your engineering team so they know on which task they are able to work. So identifying technical debt, it is a little bit complex. There are some options to be doing. On our experience, what we do is we tag some tasks and we categorize them. So we say like, hey, we had to run this SQL script in production manually. That shouldn't be something. So let's tag this type of task. Let's see how often are we doing this. Is this like a one thing once a year, or is this something that we are doing on weekly basis, on daily basis? Let's categorize it, and then let's put it in the backlog. If we don't put tasks in the backlog, then we will forget to make them. And this is something that can help your engineering team to work on these tasks on some idle times, on some all hands on deck initiative, things like that. But it will give you at least some amount of measure over the size of your technical debt. How important is it for you to pay it, and which of all the debt that you have should be the one that you should focus first. While you are paying your technical debt, you must not forget that your main objective of paying the technical debt is stability. Technical debt is not around just improving how things work. This is all about technical things. Code that needs to be refactored, things that need to be that are not easy to maintain, things that may not have automated tests around it. All of this should improve the stability of your product. So just try to make sure that you are not working towards your technical debt in regards of adding new features, of fixing bugs, which maybe fixing bugs may be something, but not around adding new features, but around improving the stability of your product. Now, about paying the technical debt, there are kind of three things to do. One is refactor, which is something that, in my own experience, engineers love to do. They are always eager to do some refactoring, add their personal touch to something that another engineer, of course, he did it wrong. I need to do it in my own better way, so I'm going to go and refactor it. Well, you are free to do that, but you need to add automated tests. Remember, we are here to do some stability. So if you are not doing automated, you are not going to even touch that. And then observe. The final step is important because sometimes we just refactor, we write automated tests, and we call it a day. But you have to observe if what you are doing is better, or is it kind of at least the same, or if it's worst. And then finally, you just need to repeat, which it goes into what I kind of my motto, always keep trying. And it's because things are cycles. Companies, products, life have their own cycles, and how you handling it's key for them for this. You also need to keep working on the skills of your team. You have to leverage the skills that your team has, in technical skills, soft skills, and you need to see where do they maybe need training, work to be doing, so that they can achieve the results. Identify your struggles, identify them, work on plans to minimize them or even remove them. That is also really important. And then set the next steps or what is coming for the next years, because all this direction and your priorities are going to be key for your team. So we'll just go back to the beginning, keep building your product, keep building your team, keep paying technical dev. That is going to be what you need to keep repeating, because people is going to go as well. People is going to grow. Maybe you used to have a senior software developer. Now this person is a technical leader. Someone moved from one department to another, So even if they don't leave your company, they may move to another position where you will need to keep an eye for this on your team. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining for this conversation. I hope you keep enjoying this conference of Percona. I'll be answering questions here on the chat. So, and feel free, if I don't have, if you want to reach out to me directly on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram, feel free to do that. All my information is here.